Hey everybody, welcome back to another exciting episode of Horror Film Lovers Reviews. I'm your host, Jonathan Moody, and I'm here to talk about a little movie called Citadel. This was Citadel 2012, and it was a film that I didn't really know much about. So basically, how I figured this film out was that for whatever reason, I was looking up Sinister 2, and I found the director of that. And I was like, oh, very cool. Like, who's this guy? So I looked up more of his films that he was in, and I started kind of perusing, and I saw Citadel. And then I looked it up, and I realized, like, it didn't do, like, fantastic in the box office. So I was like, how did this guy go from directing this movie from Ireland that basically didn't make a lot of money in the box office. Maybe it made really well it did really well in Ireland. I don't know, but it didn't really do well in the US box office. How did he direct a, big movie? And I come to find out that the Scott Derrickson loved this movie and had picked this film as a movie to, as him as a director to do the Sinister 2. And I can't say his name. Last name's Foy. That's all I know. I can't. It's Saron or something like that, and I probably butchered it. But I felt like I wanted to talk about this because I ended up watching it like right after I heard about it and whatnot. I was very interested to see. I didn't know much about it except what the thing says here, which is like an agoraphobic father teams up with a renegade priest to save his daughter from the clutches of a gang of twisted feral children who committed an act of violence against his family years earlier. Other than that, I didn't know much about it. We are going to go into spoilers. There will be spoilers. If you have not seen the movie, please turn this review off. Go do something else because if you don't want to be spoiled, you're about to be spoiled. So get ready for that. All right. Anyway, here we go. So my thoughts on Citadel 2012. I really, really enjoyed it. So basically, as it said, basically, our reluctant hero here, who was what's his name in the movie? He is sorry, I'm doing more research while I did Tommy. So Tommy is basically this father of this woman, and she is pregnant with a baby, and they're in a apartment complex. You kind of see it in the background there a little bit, like a big building, and it's been having some really bad problems, and it's basically gonna be, in a way, it's being everybody's being kicked out. I don't know how they found that. I think that's awesome. When I think of Ireland, I think of beautiful, landscapes and everything. They find like the dingiest, disgustingest areas to shoot in. It's winter, so it's like snowy and stuff on the ground. It is not what you expect from England. And also, I've heard that I guess some of it was shot in Scotland. So I don't know which was shot in Scotland, what was shot in Ireland. But whenever I think of Ireland, I think of like, green grass. And even when I think of Scotland, I think of green grass and sunny and maybe rainy, but not snowy. Don't even think of snowy, but they showed a side of Ireland that I or Scotland that I just was not aware of. So basically, and this was funded by like Ireland, film, production, stuff. So I was very happy to check it out. So these kids uh stab attack and stab the wife who's pregnant with a needle. He can't get out of the elevator, and so the elevator goes down. He has to run up the stairs, and he doesn't make it in time before the kids are gone. And he takes his wife to the hospital. She does have the child. I'm guessing years later because the kid's crawling. It doesn't say how many years. Kid's crawling. Her name's Elsa, and he's sort of been afraid to go out. He's has a lot of fear, and this movie runs on fear. Like that's the biggest thing with this movie is fear, and I really like that. I was very, very happy with that kind of theme. And so he's afraid to go out. He's afraid that he'll run into these kids again or any kids or whatever. Like he's just terrified of everything. Lo and behold, he at his wife's funeral, a priest tells him, with his kid who's blind, he says that, you're um they're coming after you and your child. They'll be back, basically. And he's trying to, how do you know that? And the guy is basically like, you're doomed, kind of thing at that particular moment. The priest does come back, obviously. That's the big thing. So priest comes back, but for the meantime, he's still trying therapy and other things to get over his fear of going out and doing things, and he's terrified of everything. Um, so the kids do come back and they attack his house and and everything like that. And they're basically trying to get the child, I guess, and that's really what they want. They want the child. And you find out later they want the child because then the child can grow up and be just like one of them, or whatever. So he is scared to death, and the priest says, "Come with me." They go on Elsa, the daughter, goes with this woman who's sort of been helping him out, this nurse that's been helping him out with everything. Her name's like Marie, and she's been doing everything she can to help him out. And but she thinks he's like listening to this crazy man who's putting paranoid thoughts in his head. He puts even more paranoid thoughts in his head when he says basically what he wants to do is just destroy the whole building with them all in it, with the kids all in it, get them, kill them all in one swoop. Um, the kid, the kids, apparently can feed on fear. It's really weird. You don't really say like what they are. There is one point where he asks like, what are they? And the priest says, they're demons. And he looks at him and he's like, really? And the guy's like, wow, you believe anything I told you right now, wouldn't you? And it's because he's so full of fear that he'll believe anything at this moment. And I really like that scene because I was like, that's it's hardcore, you know. But anyway, so he tells them like, we need to set the thing on fire and we need to like blow up the building. And he's like, I don't want nothing to do with that. I'm too scared and whatnot. They also tell him that the kid, the boy that he has, if I remember his name, um, hold on. He had I think it's Billy. I want to say Danny. So Danny is this blind kid, and he's sweet as hell. But he doesn't talk at first. So I was always well. Apparently he could talk because the father's like, "You're not gonna tell him your name." He's like, "His name's Danny," and so basically Danny can smell fear, and he says, "Danny." There's at one point where he says, "What does fear look like?" And he says, "It's a red hue." And he goes, "Okay, then what do I look like?" He says, "You're scarlet." Woof. He is full of fear, very full of fear. And he is, like, he's terrified of all of this stuff. Um, but anyway, he had walked before all that too. He had decided he didn't want to do this. He left. He went um one night. He's with Marie, and they're walking around doing things, and the child is uh was his child is kidnapped by these, these thugs who killed Marie. I'm guessing she died. She was like beat to death, beat. So I'm guessing she died. We don't, and she never comes back. So that's what I'm guessing. And then so he takes off, and the kid's kidnapped, grabbed from him and everything. And he ends up wanting to get her back by any means necessary. But he's still afraid. He still has fear, and he's still, I mean, he's terrified of what's going to happen. But throughout it, he gets courage and everything. And Danny says he has no fear, and later he does have fear. So that was very entertaining. I really like that. Um, I don't know. It was, you know, ending sort of works out, is happy, but there's this like really great scene where they see all, well, unfortunately Danny can't see anything because he's blind, but the guy Tommy can see all these, feral children around, and he's, you know, like, we got to get through these children. He's got the baby, and they need somehow to get through all of it, and get through all the kids. And he says, just, be with me, you'll be all right. And so he's got the courage, and Danny's the one freaking out. So it shows you kind of ups and downs of what, like, some people can fake fear, being fearless, but after a while it might die, and that fear may start to show. Though, I don't know. I'm guessing this movie, the message was just basically don't fear. I don't really know what the full message is. It's about how society is, and all these other things. There's lots going on with it, but I did enjoy the movie. I really enjoyed it. Thought it was a lot of fun. It's not your typical like horror film. This isn't like a slasher or anything. This is horror based on like society and how scary some things in society are, especially when you have dealt with grief and trauma and all these other things together all at once, and you might yourself might be a little paranoid to go back out into the world to deal with this stuff again, thinking that that's what you're going to see again. And I don't know, it was really fun. I enjoyed it. I really liked the priest. I thought he was great. I mean, everybody was great. Tommy was great. Danny was great. The kids were scary. I mean, this isn't a movie that's going to terrify you or anything, but it is going to probably make you think a little bit more about, how we treat people, especially trauma victims and everything. And, you know, sort of, if you are traumatic, like things that could help you get back out and show, give you no fear. So with that, I think that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will chat with you soon. So let me know what you guys think of this review. I really enjoyed it. I would give it probably a 4.5 out of 5 stars. That's what I'd probably give it on my letterbox. 4.5 out of 5. It was good. It wasn't the greatest horror film or anything, but I could see why this movie would lead him to get more work. And I have not seen Sinister 2 in forever. I don't even know if I ever watched it. I want to say I did, because I know I've seen the first one. I think I've seen the second one. It's been so long. I'm surprised they never did a third one, unless the second one just didn't do nearly as well. Um, but maybe they will do a third one. Blumhouse likes to do sequels. But anyway, hope you guys enjoy this. Let me know what you guys think. Did you guys like Citadel 2012? There is an older movie called Citadel, but it has nothing to do with this one. So, all right. Well, I hope you guys enjoy this, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.